Okay, people, hello. This is gonna be our first class in this way. In this case, we're gonna present the first topic that we're gonna study in unit number 5. And the first grammar thing that we will see is reported speech. I have created this presentation and I have also uploaded it to the platform so that you can see it. I will be presenting and I will try to explain the things during this in this way. I hope you can understand, and if you have more questions about this, you can write me to my email or you can send me a message to the platform, and I will be happily answering to your requests or your answers. Here we are gonna study reported speech. Basically, the first thing we need to know is what is reported speech. As you have seen in the platform, I have already uploaded also some other explanations about other people making this explanation about reported speech. But in simple words, reported speech is just to say what other people have said in our own words. For example, my mother told me yesterday, you have to go to the church, for example. And then I tell to my mother, hey, to my sister, I'm sorry, my mother told me that I had to go to the church. So the original sentence that my mother told me is, you have to go to the church. But when I tell this to another person, when I report this sentence about what my mother said, I will say, my mother told me that I had, in simple past, to go to the church. I will be explaining these things little by little, so don't get confused and don't worry right now. I will just doing some things and I will try to show you more about this. First, we're gonna see the concept of reported speech, and later we will see some examples about this. First, we use reported speech when we are telling someone what another person said or thought, but we do not use the exact words. And we have an example here. Mark said that he wanted to live in London. For example, right? Mark said that he wanted to live in London. This is our first example, and then we will go to this part. This is very important, but right now don't get confused. I will just tell them all, but I will explain them one by one for you to feel more comfortable. This part, this section, is the column of the sentences that are let's say this way, used in reported indirect speech. I'm sorry, and then we have the second column, which is in reported speech. Direct speech. If the original sentence is in simple present or present simple, the reported speech sentence is going to go to simple past. Like the example that I gave you at the beginning. My mother told, well, the original words of my mother said, you have to go to church. This was the direct speech, right? You have to go to church, simple present. And then when I tell this to another person, I have to transform it to simple past because this happened some time before. So when I made the reported speech, I will say, my mother told me that I had to go to church. And then we will continue with the others, right? Then when we have simple past sentence, they will go to past perfect. If we have present continuous, they will go to past continuous. If we have present perfect, we go to past perfect. If we have present perfect continuous, they go to past perfect continuous. And if we have future, they will go to conditionals. So one more time, don't worry right now about all of these things because I know they are a lot, but we will do them one by one, and we will start with simple present. In the next presentation, in the next slide, you will see an example. The original sentence, this one, the original sentence is in simple present tense or present simple, and this is the direct speech. It is in quotations. I don't know if you can see my hands, in quotations because this is the original words that the person said. That's why we write the famous quotations to this thing, right? So the original sentence, as I said, is he lives in Australia. So if the sentence, the original sentence is in simple present in the direct speech, in the indirect speech, in this case, In this one, we are going to make the sentence in the indirect speech into simple past, right? So in this case, we also have to do another thing, people. We have to add, let's say, a sentence or a phrase in which is this one, right? Oh, well, I need to add everything, right? I'm sorry, I'm just learning this program and this is new and really interesting. So for future teachers, that will be a nice thing to use. So you are going to make, or you're going to include this first expression at the beginning. She said that. Or if it was a person, a boy, you will say he said that. Or if it is a group of people, you will say they said that, right? Or if it was you, I will say I said that. That will depend on the context in which you are going to use. So the next thing is, as you can see here, we have the original sentence, right? He lived in Australia. So in this case, we have he lived in Australia, and it is basically the same thing that we have over here, right? He lives in Australia. But this sentence, the first one, is in simple present. So the reporter speech sentence will go to simple past, and we are going to change the verb lives by lived, which is this one. So the next thing that we're gonna do is some other examples about this. Um, Give me a second. I need to erase this. Okay, it's okay. These are simple present sentences. All of these sentences are in direct speech. The first one is he works in Milan. Let's do it together, and then I will show you the other sentences, the indirect speech sentences. So if the first sentence is he works in Milan, it means that the indirect sentence is going to be in simple past. So he works in Milan. We will start with the expression he said that he worked in Milan, right? And then the other one is going to be he is a good student. He said that he was a good student. We are very important. He said that they are very important. In this case, I want you to make a clarification. As you can see, the original one is we, like in this one and like in this one. In the indirect speech, you can make them in two different ways. The first one is just by leaving it like this. You say, right, he said that we are very important, but you use we when you are included. But if you are not included, let's imagine that uh, Alejandra, Steven, and the other guys, they told me, hey, we are very important, for example. And then I cannot say, oh, they said, right? Or Alejandra told me that we are very important because in this case I am not important, so they are important. So I was not included in the original sentence. But if I was included, I will say we are important. But in this case, since I am not included in the sentences, in the original sentence, I need to change this we for they. They were very important. Let's see the sentences. I'm going to erase this. So he said that he worked in Milan. He said that he was a good student. He said that they were very important. He said that they liked to play soccer. He said that they went to the beach every summer. As I said, if the original sentence is in simple present, the reported speech sentence is going to be in simple past. The next example is when we have present progressive sentences. The first part is normal, right? Like present progressive or present continuous. He is working in Milan, for example, here. He is working in Milan. He is cooking dinner. We are having a very important party. We are playing soccer. We are eating pupusas. Those things are the original sentences. So remember, these sentences are in present progressive. So if the sentences is simple present go to simple past, in this case, present progressive goes to past progressive. This is how this works, and we have the example here. Number one says he said that he, well, one more time, in all the sentences that you're gonna use in reported speech or indirect speech, um, don't get confused, but you can say indirect speech or reported speech. In all the sentences, you need to start with an expression. There can be other expressions. He told me, he expressed, he said, he asked me, and etc. That will depend on your style. I am just giving you one because I want to make it easy. So this is the original sentence, people. He was working in Milan. I don't know if you remember the original sentence. Let's come back a little bit. The original sentence is he is working in Milan. So the reported speech sentence says he said that he was working in Milan because we changed it. The second sentence was he is cooking dinner. And the other one is he said that he was cooking dinner. So if it is simple present, it goes to simple past. In this case, it was present progressive, it goes to past progressive. He said that he said that they were having a very important party. He said that they were playing soccer. He said that they were eating pupusas. I will have to pause this video because it's gonna be difficult for me to upload it to YouTube, and then I will make the second part. So in the next video, I will explain the other tenses, and I hope you can watch this video complete. And if you have any questions, you can ask me, and you can write me an email or a message to the platform.